She was the first African woman to achieve an executive position at a presidential level. The 1995 Beijing conference came at a time when she had just been appointed Uganda's vice president. She took on the mantle of taking Africa's position to Beijing.
Africa went to Beijing knowing exactly what we wanted. We knew that information is power, and that information comes from education. We just needed that political push, the political commitment to begin speaking out.
Close to 20 years later, Uganda has made big strides in education.
Affirmative action for girls going to Makerere, affirmative action for women to go to parliament and participate highly in decision making. We have universal primary education and USE.
We've really had a systematic change, and what you see now with the women heading city council, women heading revenue authority, women becoming ministers of finance, women going to defense, the non-traditional areas.
But while there has been progress in this sector, those who analyze the concerns of the Beijing conference and have observed Uganda through time say, in terms of health, Uganda has not fared as it should.
Reducing maternal mortality, we are very slow. We are supposed to reduce it from around 600 in 1990s to 131. We are still at 438.
And yet some believe that achieving maternal health is not as difficult as it seems.
To reduce maternal mortality, you need very basic interventions, and one of them being, like the skilled the skilled attendance at birth.
Teenage pregnancies continue to plague the girl child who will be the woman of tomorrow if she lives long enough. These teenagers will many times seek out abortions as their best option, most of which are unsafe.
In as much as we are able to increase the enrollment of girls in schools, but there are so many other factors at the family level which will actually impact on the girls' attendance of school, and so they end up dropping out of school.
Education is the best contraceptive. The best contraceptive. If they stay longer in school.
As the struggle goes on to find means to keep the women alive, there is also the question of women empowerment. One of the critical shortfalls for Uganda has been getting the women from the micro-income level to a higher level.
You cannot have a huge problem and then you nibble at it and you expect to get results faster. You can know your rights. You can be educated without having enough women who together as a team can work financially to get that critical mass to move things. You won't get anywhere.
Health, education, a woman's economic empowerment, all of these cannot be celebrated when there still is the very critical aspect of gender-based violence.
I think in 2010, the country passed the Act on Domestic Violence, and also, the Act on Prevention of Female Genital Mutilation, and then there was the Act on Trafficking in Persons, and particularly related, to sexual issues. But of course, there are some pending issues like, the Sexual Offences Bill that has remained, and then, the Domestic Relations Bill.
The worst violence is psychological violence. And that is based on a foundation of the cultural attributes of our patrilineal family. And if we don't tackle that, we shall continue to really get displaced in our performance, in our lanes, as the president puts it. Because the moment you are psychologically not there, it means you are mentally not equipped to take on any challenge.
Uganda has had quite a history. There are pointers that perhaps that history has shaped where the country is at the moment concerning the points raised in the 1995 Beijing conference.
The Tomairo passed through in the 80s, the 70s.
Without political support, without mentorship of the head of state, it would have been impossible for us to be where we are.
They hope that as the world celebrates the 20th anniversary of the Beijing Conference next year, they will remember where the struggle started from and focus on working harder to make more significant changes.
We need to have very, very strong advocacy across the board at all levels. That you see, we have a lot of issues on paper, and these do not actually get translated into action. We have issues where we say, we are like making a budget gender sensitive. But how sensitive is this gender budget?
The infrastructure is there. The mechanisms for one to be able to appeal if they find roadblocks are there. So for me, I can say now that for my granddaughters, the sky is the limit.